Before there were runways, before there were trends, before anyone decided what was in or out, there were hands, hands that cut, hands that stitched, hands that believed fabric could hold meaning. This is not a podcast about fashion as noise. This is not about hype. This is not about chasing what disappears tomorrow. This is about the people who make, the dressmakers, the tailors, the designers, the quiet creatives who turn doubt into discipline and thread into identity. If you're listening right now wearing thread-spattered jeans, hued by dye fumes, covered with pins, chalk lines, or swatches on your desk, if you're listening from your sewing room, your studio corner, your tiny home office turned atelier, or your laptop where the designs never stop, if you are someone who measures moments in millimeters and alive in shape and silhouette, this is for you. Not tomorrow, not someday, today, and it's worth celebrating. Because you, the maker and the dreamer and the fashion lover, are standing at a moment that the world has not always had before. If you've ever stayed up late fixing a detail no one asked for, if you've ever wondered whether your work mattered, if you've ever loved fashion not for attention, but for truth, then you are in the right place. Welcome. Let's talk about the world you operate in, not the quiet universe of dusty sewing machines and old magazines on shelves, but the loud, vibrant, ever-shifting world of fashion right now. I'm not talking about someone said stylish things online. I'm talking about real, verified industry signals, stories from brands, culture, and community to show you where fashion is and where it's going. One of the strongest truths emerging in 2025, and still trending today, is that brands are prioritizing authenticity, deeper connections, and craftsmanship over shallow influencer hype. Marketing in 2025 has shifted away from superficial buzzwords to meaningful stories and genuine artisanal skill. And fashion houses are responding. This means what you do, the skills you've practiced, the seams you've mastered, the way you bring ideas to life with your own hands, is not old-fashioned. It's precisely what the industry is leaning into. And folks from Paris to Palm Beach are paying attention. From standout launches this December, like Louis Vuitton opening strategic new spaces and collaborations like North Face with Skims, to vibrant seasonal drops lighting up runways and stores, the world is craving expressive design again. No more monochrome shadows, no more timid palettes. Color is back, bold and unapologetic, and it's calling for creators who dare to paint with confidence. Major moments are happening too. New York Fashion Week, one of the global fashion capitals, just announced it will be fur-free starting 2026, aligning with sustainability and ethical expectations that consumers and creators alike are demanding. Meaning your craft, mindful, ethically sourced, creatively conscious, matters on the global stage. And every stitch, every fabric choice, every intentional design decision you make is part of that new ethical architecture. Fashion isn't just what you make, it's why and how and for whom you make it. This year, some of the most compelling fashion experiences centered on storytelling, literally, textiles as narrative. Christian Louboutin's Paris exhibition entitled Textile Matters, Woven Stories Between India and France is a perfect example, reminding us fashion is cultural dialogue, not just decoration. And on platforms like TikTok, trend tracking continues to show that community-shaped ideas and creativity from individual voices, not just major houses, are reshaping style daily. So if you're staring at a blank pattern board wondering, am I relevant? Does anyone care? Let me tell you this clearly, the world cares. Not just about famous fashion, but about authentic fashion. Not just about trend cycles, but about meaningful craft. Not just about what's on a billboard, but about what connects people to themselves through design. This moment, right now, is your affirmation that craftsmanship isn't obsolete. It's the heartbeat of culture. All right, if you're still with me, and I know you are, let's go deeper. Because facts and trends are one thing, but meaning? Meaning is what keeps you stitching at 2:17 in the morning. Meaning is why you redo a seam no one else will ever see. Meaning is why fashion isn't just clothes to you, and never has been. Let's be honest for a second. If you wanted an easy path, you wouldn't have picked fashion. You wouldn't have picked an industry where people ask you, is that a real job? Your hands hurt before your bank account ever feels full, and success looks different every year, and sometimes every week. You chose this because something in you needed it. One of the biggest shifts happening right now, and this is not opinion, this is documented industry movement, is that fashion authority is decentralizing. For decades, power sat at the top. big houses, big editors, big runways. But in 2025, influence increasingly flows from individuals outward, not institutions downward. This is supported by ongoing trend analysis from Vogue Business, which shows that micro-creators, independent designers, and community-driven aesthetics are shaping what gains traction, especially on platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels. Translation? You don't need permission anymore. You don't need a gatekeeper to validate your eye. You don't need a runway invite to matter. You need clarity, consistency, and courage. Which is terrifying. And freeing. Mostly terrifying. Because now the question isn't, will they let me in? The question is, what do I stand for? Fashion, at its core, is identity translation. When someone wears what you make, they are saying something without speaking. And right now, globally, people are searching for language that feels more personal, more emotionally honest, more culturally rooted. This is why textiles as storytelling has become such a powerful theme, not just in exhibitions, but in product design, branding, and consumer response. You are not just designing garments, you are helping people articulate who they are becoming. That's not small work. And let me say this clearly, because someone listening needs to hear it. If your designs feel too specific, too rooted, too cultural, too emotional, too you, that is not a weakness. That is the point. Generic fashion already exists. Fast fashion already exists. Soulless clothing already exists. In bulk. What the world does not have enough of is your perspective. Now let's talk about the unglamorous part. The part Instagram doesn't post. Craft, repetition, discipline. In 2025, as brands talk more openly about craftsmanship and skill, they are also quietly revealing something else. Talent gets attention, but discipline builds longevity. The designers who last? They aren't always the loudest. They're the ones who keep learning, keep refining, keep showing up, even when no one's clapping yet. So if you feel behind your peers, behind trends, behind your own expectations, let me reframe that for you. You are not behind. You are in training. Here's something fashion history proves again and again. Trends loop. Silhouettes return. Colors disappear, then re-emerge louder. But purpose? Purpose compounds. And in a moment where sustainability, ethics, and intention are no longer optional, evidenced by institutional shifts like New York Fashion Week's move toward fur-free runways, designers with clear values are better positioned for the future. Not perfect values, clear ones. You don't have to save the planet with one garment, but you do have to decide what you care about, what you won't compromise, what your work stands against, not just for. That clarity becomes magnetic. And listen closely now, because this is where motivation becomes responsibility. If you love fashion, truly love it, then quitting doesn't just affect you. It affects the apprentice who hasn't met you yet, the client who will finally feel seen in your work, the culture that needs your voice in the room. Your persistence is not selfish. It's service. Okay, now we zoom in. Because inspiration is powerful, but direction is what keeps inspiration from evaporating. This part is about what has actually been happening in fashion very recently. Not rumor, not TikTok noise, not vibes, but documented signals from fashion journalism, retail data, and industry platforms over the last week through today, 16 December 2025. And then, this is important, we're going to talk about what those signals mean for you. Before we list anything, let's kill a myth. A trend is not a command, a deadline, or a threat. A trend is a signal. Evidence of where attention, emotion, and money are flowing right now. According to Vogue Business Trend Analysis, trends should be read as contextual cues, not strict creative rules. So if you've ever felt pressured to chase trends and hated yourself for it, good news, you were right to resist blindly. Multiple December 2025 fashion roundups highlight a return to emotionally charged color palettes, particularly strong reds, warm neutrals, and expressive jewel tones in seasonal collections. This isn't random. Fashion editors and buyers have linked this to post-uncertainty emotional expression, consumer desire for confidence signaling garments, visual impact in social-first media. What this signals for you. Color is being used as emotional language, not decoration. Designers who understand why a color feels powerful will outlast those who just copy it. So ask yourself, what emotion does your color story speak? What feeling do you want someone to carry when they leave the room wearing your work? One of the most consistent signals in late 2025 reporting is renewed emphasis on texture, fabric integrity, and visible craftsmanship, especially in contrast to digital overload. Consumers are responding more strongly to tactile fabrics, intentional stitching pieces that look handmade or carefully constructed. This does not mean everything must be slow couture. It means visible intention beats invisible perfection. Honesty beats polish, and process is becoming part of the product story. For tailors and dressmakers, this is your era speaking back to you. You mean the thing you were told was too slow, too old school, and not scalable? Yeah, that thing. According to Vogue Business ongoing platform analysis, short-form video continues to reward authenticity over spectacle, clarity over overproduction, narrative over novelty. This matters because trends are no longer only born on runways. They are born in studios, in bedrooms, in behind-the-scenes moments, in stories told while working, not posing. Which means you don't need a massive budget. You need consistency, honesty, and the courage to show your work mid-process. The move toward fur-free runways by institutions like New York Fashion Week is not symbolic. It is structural. It signals shifting supply chains, changing buyer expectations, evolving consumer ethics. This doesn't require perfection from independent designers, but it does require awareness. Designers who understand these shifts early can make smarter material choices, tell clearer brand stories, avoid costly pivots later. Now pause with me for a second, because here's where a lot of creatives get stuck. They see trends and think, I need to become someone else to succeed. No. What trends are saying right now is, be more yourself, but do it with intention. Here's a practical framework you can steal. For every trend you see, ask 3 questions. Does this align with my values? Can I interpret this through my own voice? Would I still be proud of this work in 3 years? If the answer is no to all 3, skip it. Fashion history shows that longevity belongs to designers who translate, not imitate. You don't need to be everywhere. You need to be clear somewhere. And clarity, in 2025, is rare. That makes it valuable. Let's talk about the part of fashion that never trends. The part with no hashtag, no launch party, no applause. The part that happens when the orders are slow, the likes are quiet, the money is tight, and the doubt is loud. This is the part most people don't warn you about. Not honestly anyway. There is a moment, usually late at night, when you look at your work and think, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I started too late. Maybe everyone else figured something out I missed. If that moment has ever visited you, congratulations. You are not failing. You are exactly where creators are forged. Creative industries are uniquely vulnerable to comparison because progress is non-linear. Success is uneven. Visibility doesn't equal mastery. Fashion journalism in 2025 has increasingly acknowledged the mental and emotional strain on creatives, particularly independent designers navigating platform pressure and economic uncertainty. This isn't weakness, it's a systemic condition of creative labor. You're not behind. You're just seeing everyone else's highlight reel while living inside your own behind-the-scenes footage. Here's something trend culture doesn't like to admit. Most meaningful fashion careers grow slowly, quietly, with long plateaus, with seasons where nothing seems to move. Industry retrospectives consistently show that designers celebrated overnight often spent a decade or more refining craft before recognition arrived, even when that labor was invisible at the time. I cannot confirm exact timelines for individual success stories without specific cases, but the pattern is well documented. Longevity favors patience. If your progress feels slow, ask yourself this instead. Are your skills improving? Are your decisions getting clearer? Are your standards rising? If yes, you are advancing, even if the internet hasn't noticed yet. Social platforms amplify exposure, but they also amplify distortion. According to Vogue Business Analysis, algorithmic platforms reward frequency and visibility, not necessarily depth or quality. That means, loud work can look more successful than good work. Speed can look more valuable than skill, which can quietly erode confidence if you're not careful. Here's the rule that will save your sanity. You cannot measure your worth using someone else's timeline. Fashion isn't a race, it's an accumulation. Persistence isn't stubbornness. Persistence is choosing to learn instead of quitting, choosing refinement over resentment, choosing curiosity over comparison. And persistence is not evenly distributed, which is why it's powerful. Talent opens doors, but persistence, Persistence keeps you in the room when everyone else leaves. Let me speak directly to the moment you almost quit. The moment you thought, "What's the point?" That moment doesn't mean you should stop. It means you're standing at the edge of growth. Because people rarely quit when things are easy. They quit right before things change. I cannot confirm when or how change will arrive for you. No one can. But fashion history confirms this much. Those who stay shape culture. If no one has told you lately, your work matters even when it's unseen. Your effort counts even when it's unvalidated. Your love for fashion is not foolish. It's necessary. All right. If you're still listening now, I want you to recognize something important. You stayed. You stayed through reflection, through doubt, through truth that wasn't sugar-coated. That alone tells me something about you. You're not here for shortcuts. You're here for meaning. Fashion is famously fast. Trends rise, trends fall, aesthetic cycles spin like seasons. That's not a flaw. It's the nature of the medium. But here's the distinction that matters. Fashion is temporary. Impact is not. The designers, tailors, dressmakers, and creatives who shape culture long-term are not remembered for following trends perfectly. They're remembered for standing for something, refining a voice, and building work that carried intention. Fashion journalism consistently highlights that the most defining moments of a year are not always the most viral. They are the ones that shifted perception. In other words, no one remembers who posted the most outfits. They remember who changed how clothing made people feel. Legacy is not built on launch day. It's built on the 1,000 decisions no one sees. The ethics you choose when no one is watching, the standards you keep when cutting corners would be easier. The industry's move toward craftsmanship, ethics, and storytelling, documented across 2025, isn't accidental. It's a correction, a return, a remembering. And you are part of that remembering. Every time you choose quality over speed, clarity over noise, growth over bitterness, you are building something sturdier than a trend. You are building trust. The fashion world moving into 2026 needs fewer copies and more convictions. It needs designers who know why they design, tailors who respect the body, not just the measurement, creatives who understand that style is emotional infrastructure. With institutional shifts toward ethics and sustainability now embedded in global fashion systems, the future belongs to those who prepare intentionally, not reactively. So here's your charge, not as a trend follower, but as a builder. Know your values. Protect your craft. Tell your story clearly. Stay curious longer than others stay loud. That combination is rare, which makes it powerful. There will still be days when your work feels invisible, your progress feels slow, and your confidence wobbles. Those days don't disqualify you. They train you. Fashion doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be consistent, conscious, and committed. The rest comes with time. One day, and I cannot confirm when, someone will wear something you made and feel more like themselves. They'll stand taller, speak clearer, walk differently. They will not know your doubts. They will not see your late nights. They will not feel the fear you pushed through. But they will feel the care. And that is the quiet power of fashion. And now, when the episode ends, when the sound fades, when the world rushes back in, remember this. Fashion is fast, but purpose moves at its own pace. Your work doesn't need permission. Your craft doesn't need approval. Your voice doesn't need to be louder, only clearer. Keep cutting, keep stitching, keep choosing care over speed. Because long after the trend cycle moves on, someone will still feel something because of what you made. This isn't the end, it's the continuation. So keep cutting, keep stitching, keep sketching, keep learning. The world is shifting, and there is room in it for your hands, your mind, and your vision. You are not late. You are right on time. Thank you for staying. And thank you for making the world more human. One garment at a time. Credits. Written by Dressed by Miriam.